everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am so excited to be here today. I get to go live with Amy. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find her. She's amazing, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with her. It's gonna be so fun for you to know her, to get to hear this conversation of what a powerful community is
Hi.
like. Awesome. So, hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining this conversation. I'm gonna let Amy introduce herself because she did send me an intro, but I think it's gonna sound so much better when you get to hear it from the person, the one and only. So, Amy, why don't you tell everybody who you are, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started on the topic of today, which is popping cherries.
Sure. Well, thank you for doing this and popping my cherry. I so appreciate it.
It is
Um,
my absolute pleasure, Amy.
yeah. At first, I was like, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool. And then when you sent me a note being like, okay, we're going live, I was like, my entire body is sweating right now. Okay.
Mhm.
But anyways, so hi, my name is Amy. I am the creator of Self Assured and Savvy here on Instagram. It's a place where I talk about all things to do with self leadership, confidence, mindset, skills, and putting it out there because I think that pouring into yourself first is the best way to build confidence. I'm from Canada, so I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. That's when I got the time zones absolutely mixed up.
You and me both. I was like, I can only tell you what time it is where I can look at the clock. But it's like you,
Same.
I cannot even count the times that I have messed that up to where I'm like, really bad. But
Cool.
anyway, so Amy's in Canada. She is amazing when it comes to leadership. And like she said, I think I completely agree. The best way to show up for others is by pouring on yourself first. And I think that's definitely something that ever since we met, we connected. I First of all, I love her vibe. The fact that we met in Community by Lindsay Shorts, which is somebody that you guys know. If you don't know this, you need to know this.
You need to know
We
her.
both absolutely love her, and she holds the best, the most beautiful, supportive communities that there is. And then, so here we met, and Amy was mentioning how lives are so intimidating. And listen, I think I agree. For a long time, I was like, I don't even leave a voicemail. Like, I'm not gonna leave anybody the pleasure of having my voice in replay because I have an accent. I don't know what they're doing. If they're laughing, they're trying to understand it, transcribing it, all the ideas that I had in my head. And it's through community that I found myself feeling brave enough and supported enough to put myself out there. So
Hmm.
Amy wanted to have a life, and I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
I know that your sweat is probably, you know, sweating, shaking, feeling a little cold and a little hot all at the same time.
Hmm.
And isn't that the truth for every cherry that you pop in your life?
Yeah. Yeah. It's always like the moment before you're doing the scary thing where it seems like the most scariest thing in the world and you're going to die, but it's just that, like, just step, just take the leap, do whatever, because it's worth it. Now that we're in it, it's like, oh, I'm just talking with a friend. Like, this is easy, Like, why was I 5 minutes ago in my head,
I gotta tell you, I feel like our mind is so interestingly and so powerful because in our mind, the anticipation creates probably like a 5 million scenarios, and very few of those are positive. So you're
Mhm.
thinking like, oh my God, something's gonna break, my phone's gonna crash, all the things, right? And I that's what the beauty of like 5 seconds of bravery. I got this from a movie. I think we own a zoo, where
Mhm.
the guy is saying like, I just need to count to five, take the action, and then you realize, or you're actually in it to realize how is the scenario actually gonna play out.
Mhm.
Like, what is the one scenario that is actually gonna be truth, and what are the times in which the scenarios that play in our head are so completely different than the ones that actually play out. Isn't that
Right?
so weird how it works out?
Mhm. It is wild. It's just like our brain trying to keep us safe. Like, there was a quote that was shared last night on the call where it was like, your comfort zone is killing your success. And I was like, whoever wrote that, preach, because like it's 1,000% true. And it really resonated because that's like being a part of this like powerhouse community and six figure school. it's not that we're being forced into doing anything we don't want to. We're just having the accountability and the bravery to show up and do the things and know that we have people that are in it with us, that they're doing it as well and doing it scared, you know? So it makes a world of a difference. And like you said, having that 5 seconds of bravery.
For me, I just have to count to five, and then once I'm in it, I'm like, I'm already here. And once you're in it, then you can really decide how you can move forward, how is it that you want to show up, and then from there you can adjust as needed, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
so agree with the quote from yesterday. And how amazing was it that out of nowhere we're thinking we're gonna get on with our one and only coach Lindsay Shorts, but we get three coaches: Lori, Chris, like people that, like, the moment that I saw them, I started sweating, and I knew I was not even gonna speak, but I was
Yeah.
like, just being in the presence of people that you look up to so much can be so
Mm-hmm.
powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and m- making it an uncomfortable position for you, even though you're not speaking up, even though, like, it's also a really, like, a really good idea of an evidence of the room that you're putting yourself into. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, if that doesn't show the fact that we're forcing ourselves to put ourselves in rooms with people like coaches of that caliber, I don't know what else does, right?
Yep. I was eating because I was rushing home, so I like sat down, I like plugged in, and I was just shoveling. And then she's like, "And we have Lori and Chris Harder," and I like spit out my food. I was like, "No way!" So it was wild to be able to, like, yeah, be in a room with them and get to pick their brains because, like, I listen to their podcasts, I consume their content, but it was different to be like this, you know. And they're staring right back at you and nodding and saying, like, "That's a great question, you're doing good, keep going, here's my advice." And it was just like everyone that got the opportunity to ask a question was asking such fire questions, and like just the information that they were sharing was like, this is insane, we wouldn't be able to get it anywhere else, you know.
I know, and how amazing is that? And it, like, it was in the same room that you and I met, and
Mm-hmm.
when where I feel like those rooms are also so powerful because now you know that I'm looking to grow, and I know that you're looking to grow, and I know that you are uncomfortable, and you know that I'm uncomfortable. So that, like, that on its own is already like, okay, at least I'm with my people. I'm sweating.
Yeah,
I know you're sweating. Like, you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's okay, but it's so powerful to put yourself in rooms that give you the opportunity to feel seen and
Mm-hmm.
supported, and feel like I can ask a question and not keep it to
Mm-hmm.
myself. Like, I can actually seek an answer versus continue to stay quiet and afraid.
Yep, absolutely. I like a few, I can't remember if it was last week or a week, 2 weeks ago, Lindsay said a thing of like, ask these questions. Like, you're doing these Zoom calls for a reason. Like, you have me, and it's like you see the people that are asking questions, they're the ones that are taking that fast action, and it's just like, yes, like we're we're so lucky. I mean, and I feel like these 3 months are gonna fly by, and we'll be done before we know it, you know. And I know we still have the community after that, we still have all that, but it's fun being going through it the first time and experiencing all these feelings and all these emotions actually for the first time. And it's really fun. It's scary.
So I think that's gonna lead me to my next question for you, because after
Mm-hmm.
all, I am here to learn from you. So
Yep.
what made you decide that it was time for you to put yourself in a room like that? What are the symptoms or the things that you look for, that you kind of checked off before you say, okay, I'm ready, I'm doing this?
That's a great question. For me, I was constantly kind of stuck in the I'm always a learner. Like, I was consuming free content. I had bought a few other courses, but never really like finished them or put it into action. And there was like some of these courses that I bought, there was like accountability pieces, but it was like, let's have a call once a month. And then in the calls weren't that engaging, you know? So for me, the change was I was just kind of the idea of being in the same spot where I am today, it to be in the same spot in a year from now, that terrifies me. And I know that I want to do, like, I have a message. I want to be out there. I want to put myself first. I want to share, like, connect with people in the world. So that was kind of like my tipping point of like, I don't want to be the same. I don't want to be the same person in a year. Um, and then obviously listening to Lindsay's podcast, it resonated very well. And it just kind of like was divine timing. The that like free training came up. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go all in. Why not? Like I have the day, like it worked out that I had those days off. And so I was like, okay, I can actually pour into this. And even just in that free training, the shifts and the like energy that I felt was great. And I was like, you know, I want to keep doing this. I think this is it. It just felt so right to say yes to this. And so when the Six Figure School sale went on, I was like, okay, we're doing it. Like, no going back. Told my boyfriend, I'm like, this is my game plan. This is what I want to do. He's like, I support you. And it's been like challenging trying to balance what we're doing with my full-time job. But I know I have to remind myself, like, I'm doing this for my future self. Like, I need to show up now if I want to make massive changes. So I think that's where it came from, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the questions that Lindsay asks pretty often. Like, it,
Mhm.
a lot of people want to know, how did we get to where we are today? How do we get, like, how did you, and this is something that people are starting to ask me, how did you write a book? How did you, and one page at a time, like,
Yep.
literally one word at a time. Like,
Yep.
people don't realize that the person that you have to become to actually get things done is what really, really makes that difference. Of, it was that decision of like, I am scared, but I'm even more scared of staying where I'm at, right? So
Mhm.
it is, it's really like check and balances. Where are you at? Where are you sitting? How tired of, are you of being tired? How tired are you of staying where you're at, you know? And if if you are ready for those changes, realizing it that you don't have to do any of that alone. Like
Yep.
you don't, it feels pretty lonely, and when you're in the middle of the night trying to finish something, or where you're like second guessing what am I supposed to post, all the things that we second guess ourselves at, somebody else is having the exact same questions. And how
Mhm.
amazing is it that you can just reach out and say, this is what I'm doing today, what about you? Like, not only add accountability, but the support, the sisterhood, the ability to know that neither you or me are gonna be on the same spot next year. And how
Mhm.
beautiful is that? Because we took that brave action to finally show up for ourselves, even though it's hard. And time
Yeah.
management is a thing.
It definitely is, but it's like like how we were just talking about at the beginning. It's like your brain's keeping you safe. It's almost like now putting like taking this messy action. It's like it almost can kind of feel like the world is conspiring against you to not move forward because it's wanting to keep you safe as well. But it's just being like, again, take like step one foot in front of the other, showing up when you don't feel like it. I know you're trying to work out and drink your H2O, and it's like you got to do those. Like, even those are like small things, like that. If you do that consistently for yourself each and every day, it's like keeping the promises. If you say you're going to go for a walk and you go for a walk, heck yes. And then you say you're going to go to the gym and you go to the gym. You say you're going to work on a module and you do the module. Like, it's all in those little things. The little actions build to big results at the end of the day. And I can't wait to see the results that come up for everyone, for me, for you. But it's just, again, going back to like, we're in it together. And I know we're probably going to meet at the Powerhouse Women event in a
No,
year.
there's no probability. We are.
Yeah.
And
And so it's just like, we're going to have this like journey of being like babies, I guess you could say, in it. And then get to go to this event where we'll meet Lindsay, probably meet Lori Harder again in person, and just be in it. And then I like that's what I'm looking forward to the most out of all of this, is just like going on a trip, going to somewhere hot because it's really cold where I live all the time. So yeah.
we finally have amazing weather in Arizona, which is why I'm outside, because we don't
Oh,
get this often. So when we have it, I promised myself that I would enjoy it. I
mhm.
One thing I really wanted to say is like, I think in a year from now, or when we're done with the program, we should have another live to see, to like
We
keep
should.
going, to see where you're at, where are you going, because
Mhm.
it's so interesting to look back and
Mhm.
realize, man, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I showed up, right?
Mhm.
And then you realize that it's those little decisions that you don't really have to be sure of, like how the whole picture is gonna like look like, but showing up for yourself time and time again, and yes, going for that walk, keeping those promises. Because sometimes when things get hard, the first things that we give up on is ourselves. Like the first thing that we take out of the agenda is our self-care. The first thing that we cross off is like, oh yeah, no, I don't have time to work out. Because do really, are we sure
Mm-hmm.
about that? Because sometimes that recipe is the fastest way for an explosion. Literally, figuratively, however you want to picture
Yep.
it. When we are the first thing that we cross off our list, we are the last thing to recover, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as you're popping cherries, as you are getting out of your comfort zone, as you are trying to do things that feel scary, it's okay to do them scared. I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
Amy's scared. There's like a, thank God for good deodorant, because
Yep.
but it is the fact that we decided to show up for each other, we decided to show up for ourselves, and then we realized that we're not the only ones feeling this way. So you don't have to feel that way either, ever. But you
Mm-hmm. I couldn't have said it any better. You're 1,000% right. And the fact of just even putting it out there and showing up for, like, publicly showing up to places, it's going, like, at some point I saw someone else show up for themselves and it inspired me. We are going to be doing that for other people as well. And I always say it, like, I look at certain people and like idols or someone who has what I want. I'm like, heck, if they can do it, I can do it. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there, you know? And also just being okay with making mistakes, like, and bouncing back from those mistakes, because that also helps build your confidence at the end of the day and build trust in yourself. But it's it's never like a straight path, but it's, I don't know, it's fun to be living it, because you hear all this stuff of like, yeah, take step forwards and do that, but to actually, like, you can only hear it so much, but when you put in the action, that's when you're like, wow, things are changing, things are happening, my mindset is improving. And that's the magic.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like the whole thing on mistakes, I'm so glad that you touch on that, because you are bound to make mistakes. If you're trying something for the first time that you have never tried and that you're scared of doing it, you're bound to make a mistake or to feel like you failed. I love that word, because people are like, no, I don't want to fail. It's like, well, it actually means
Fail.
that you're trying. It means that you're showing up. It's giving you feedback of like, okay, well, I showed up at this time. Maybe next time I'll, like, it gives you information that you can use to improve on that
Mm-hmm.
same thing that you want to. And it's not, and it's, I don't even know that it's a mistake. I feel like it's just a learning path of like finding your own group, finding your own way, finding what works for you and what works for your audience if you have one, or what works for your people or the people that you want to support or your community. But why are mistakes so, like, why are we so afraid of mistakes? Because
Right.
even in the best days, I feel like we know what we're doing. Like just this morning, I know how to feed my kids. Like breakfast. It's a thing. I've been doing it for a few years, right? And
Yeah.
not everything went wrong. Like everything, to the point that I'm like, all right, like I guess crackers it is on the way to school. And any other time, like if I hadn't not done the work that I have done so far, I would have been so mad at myself. I would have been terrible, like punishing myself as a terrible mother, because it didn't work out, because like it failed, because I
Mhm.
failed, because. But I mean, the kids are alive. They're great. They were so excited to have crackers for breakfast because nothing else worked out. So everything passed.
Mhm.
And then, but if I had not, if we don't take the time to realize, yes, this doesn't feel right, but it's gonna pass, and next time I'm gonna do better, then you can waste so much time and energy just like over analyzing and studying that one moment that is probably gonna talk you out of continuing following your dream.
Mhm.
And how sad is that?
It's sad, and it's hard to sometimes, like, you like, if you have the awareness and you see someone else who messed up their kids breakfast and they dwell on it, and you're like, no, you're so much better, just keep moving. like I find that to be hard, but I get it. It's like you gotta make the mistakes to learn, and like you can't I can't dwell on what Amy 7 years ago didn't know. You know, like she was just doing her best at the time, and now it's like I can be grateful for the things and the mistakes that she has done, that have brought me to here, and I know and trust myself forward. But I have the trust that I'm going to push through it, that I have the community to support. I can reach out to someone and say, listen, I need a good cry, and someone will hold space for me. You know, like it is much different when you kind of switch it, that like mistakes are going to happen. They're not bad. You're not going to die. You might feel like you're going to die, but it's not going to. So just keep going.
Yes, absolutely. How amazing. Well, Amy, it's so fun to watch you go live and pop your shit
Yeah.
and realize that I mean you are amazing at this. You really know what you are. You know your message. You know what you want to share. You're being open and you're even having fun with it. That I,
Mhm.
I mean, yes, that's the last thing that I want to say about popping cherries. It can
Yep.
be fun. Not everything has to be extremely hard, difficult, and work that is feels so professional that you cannot laugh at yourself. Because
Mhm.
I laugh at my mistakes all the time, and if it wasn't for that, I don't know that I would be showing up as often. You know,
Yep.
I'm
I hear ya.
like, I'm, it takes me a while. Sometimes it takes me like sometimes it takes me a cry in between, but it doesn't get to the point that I can realize it's gonna pass, and it's okay to have fun while
Hmm.
you're learning. And it's also okay to celebrate like tiny little steps that you're taking towards your growth. Because
Hmm.
sometimes it hurts, sometimes you fall, sometimes you fail, sometimes you feel extremely frustrated. And when you're done, or when you look back, like in 3 months, when we look at this, we are gonna be able to do a little celebration, happy dance of,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, but did you know we were gonna be where we are today?
Hmm. I like, and this is still a celebration. I'm gonna get off this call and be like, I did it! My cherries popped.
Yeah.
I'll just be on live all the time now. Like, hi guys, this is how I communicate for the rest of my life.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Great. 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 Well, should we wrap up with maybe the pointers on how to be ready to pop cherries?
Oh,
If
I
you
don't
had
know.
a
I
little
don't know
quick,
if you.
I mean,
Sorry.
we discussed quite a few ways that you can feel more empowered to go out and pop cherries. But if you had to give like a little wrap up of what are the top three, or what the ones that
Hmm.
you rely on as you continue to pop your cherries in this growth.
Um, the I guess the first point that comes to my mind is get rid of perfectionism. I mean, I know it's hard. I know that we live in a world where we think that everything needs to be perfect and a certain aesthetic is just throw that out the window and think about how can you do this faster and less perfect. And I did not come up with this quote. I'm 99% sure Lori Harder did, but it's something that has stuck with me, and it's just in order to take that fast action, just how can I do this faster? How can I put one foot in front of the other? And constantly asking yourself those questions too, because if you're not thinking about it and you're just feeling so stuck, just take what seems like the next best step. It doesn't have to be the logical or a perfect step. It just needs to be a step. It just needs to be action. Because once you start stepping, you start to build momentum, and momentum loves action. So just keep going.
Absolutely, I so agree. I
Mm-hmm.
agree. And today we took a lot of action. And for those that are watching, thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes in case you have a specific question for Amy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wanna just add to the fact that you said fast action and do the steps. The steps that do the steps that works for you.
Yep.
Because many times we try to do the step that worked for somebody else, and yeah, sure you can try it, but you can also trust yourself of knowing what's your next step. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to see the big picture, but your body, sometimes your mind, I don't know, your throat or your
It
tummy,
knows.
it knows. And if you just like tune in into that and listen to yourself, you'll get there a lot faster than if you try to follow the steps and the roadmaps that work for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, as it is your journey, and the faster that you own it, the faster that you'll get there. But yeah, absolutely. If you are in the midst of not knowing how to pop a cherry, how to get out of your comfort zone, how to like take that one, like those 5 seconds of bravery, reach out to me or Amy. Will be more than happy to just let you know that you're not doing it alone. That you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to feel extremely lonely and scared all by yourself. We can totally join you.
Yeah. Our DMs are open. I mean, now I feel like I'm a vet at lives now. So if anyone wants to go on a live, like, heck, let's do it. But yeah, it's fun. And thank you for doing this with me. I so appreciate it. And I feel like I could just talk to you forever, but we'll do another one down the road to have a recap of how far we've come.
Yes, it would be really fun. Like maybe say before we close the 6 figure school, we can get a check-in, and then maybe in like another 2 months, because it's super fun to realize that that momentum and that little action does get results. But
Hmm.
sometimes we really take the time to look back and notice it and celebrate it because we're so busy looking for the next step.
Yeah.
They're both equally important. Like
Hmm.
it's awesome that you're building momentum, but also take the time to realize, man, 2 months ago I was not going live, and look at me now.
Hmm.
I have 25 lives already, because I'm sure
Yeah.
you're going to. Uh, this is so exciting. Thank you, Amy, for sharing your magic with us. I didn't see any questions, but thank you so much for everybody that joined. We appreciate you, and I hope that you feel empowered and not lonely into popping cherries, into trying new things, into knowing that growth is on the other side of comfort zone. And the sooner you leave it, the sooner you'll discover it.
Yeah. She absolutely right. 10 out of 10, 100%. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who joined live as well. And I'll see you in the school.
I'm gonna tag Amy, that way you guys can all follow her because she's amazing and her content is super.
Thank you.
So I'll send it over, and Amy will talk soon.
Bye. See you.
Bye.